Hello, my name is David Snyder, and I'm a 7-year ex-vegan. I left the vegan cult, and this is why I call it a cult. Veganism brainwashes you into believing you're doing something ethical for yourself, for the planet, for the animals, but it is a big lie, and this is why I say this. They will teach you when you enter veganism that it is ethically and morally wrong to harm sentient beings like the animals for something like food. But what they won't tell you is that even vegans are responsible for the death of billions of animals and sentient beings every year. Now, vegans will argue right off the top that the majority of crops that are grown to feed animals. While this is true, and it is true, the fact remains, and this is something they can't seem to get their heads around, they are responsible for about 25% of the suffering and death of animals for their own food as well. So the statements they make, no murder on my plate, I'm not responsible for the death of animals for my food consumption, for my body, that is an outright lie. An outright lie, unless they grow their own food and do not buy it from a store or market themselves. This is a test video as far as my video making capabilities go right now. This will improve over time, but I'm at least getting the message out that I want to. When I first got into veganism, I had watched the documentary Forks Over Knives, which I'm sure a lot of people have. Well, it scared me into going vegan. And since I had been eating a standard American diet, or a SAD diet for years, the majority of my life, I was being told that my health would deteriorate because of that, and I would be suffering major medical problems in the future. So I went vegan and remained vegan for 7 years, primarily. Now, there were a couple times when I did have meat temporarily. Once was as an experiment, and a couple times were because I actually felt better after I had meat when I was having some health issues. However, with that being said, I was vegan the majority of that 7 years. And that is where I developed health problems. I developed GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, which is quite common when you're vegan. I developed arthritis. Because I'm a truck driver, my right leg is pressed against the accelerator almost all day, and it had become inflamed and swollen. When I went to a carnivore diet, eating meat and eggs, it wasn't long before the inflammation went away in my leg. It was also a couple weeks, and my GERD went away completely. No more. Now, one of the things that the carnivore diet is an elimination diet. In other words, you eliminate all the foods that you're eating with the exception of meat and eggs. Then, and only then, after you have been eating meat and eggs for a minimum of 30 days, and I highly recommend 60 to 90 before you start incorporating any other food back into your diet, that is when you do it. And that way you're able to see what your body is capable of handling and what it's not. For myself, I found out something that was devastating to me. I have loved pickles my entire life. But after incorporating a carnivore diet, I have discovered that when I reintroduce pickles, and I've tried it 3 different times, my body does not react well. So I am not tolerant of pickles. Now, one of the foods that I did find I can eat from time to time are tomatoes. That's good because I love a good tomato on a burger. It makes it a lot better tasting, in my opinion. Another thing you have to look at when it comes to veganism is looking at the super vegan doctors out there. There are the ones I can call out by name. In fact, I think I will. Michael Greger, who has never treated even one patient, is not looking that well himself. He is constantly walking on a treadmill all the time. That's not a healthy thing. Plus, if you look at his arms, people make the comment like, oh, you're getting Dr. Greger arms. And I use the term doctor very, very loosely with him because he's not a practicing physician. Like I said, he has not treated one patient. He's earned the right to call himself a doctor. But don't you think you get a little suspicious when you have a doctor that hasn't even treated one patient? Come on. Use your brain. Another one of these doctors is Dr. Neil Barnard. Now, if you've ever watched him in an interview, it looks like you're talking to a skull. That is how malnourished this man looks. A lot of these vegan doctors say, I've adopted a vegan lifestyle for my health and for the animals. And I am perfectly healthy and you can thrive and live wonderfully on a vegan diet. Whole food, plant-based eating. That is simply not the truth. These people are being dishonest with themselves and putting their own health at risk in the name of propaganda and an agenda. Now, if you start listening to real doctors like Dr. Ken Berry, he is on YouTube, Instagram, you need to listen to this doctor. He knows what he's talking about. He's a practicing family physician of over 20 years, and you need to listen to this man. Another doctor highly respected in the carnivore and keto field is Dr. Anthony Chaffee. He's a neurologist. He knows what he's talking about as well, and he'll tell you that plants are trying to kill you, and over time they will. Some plants will kill you right away. Some people have an allergy to peanuts and eat it and they're dead in 10 minutes. Other plants, with the defensive chemicals they have in them, take time. They can take several months, several years, even several decades to do their damage, depending on the person's body and their ancestry, what their parents ate, what their parents ate, and it makes a difference. Not everyone is the same. So people that think they have a cookie cutter method for everyone's the same, this is how you need to eat, I'm telling you for a fact, you need to find out what's right for your body. No one else's, yours. Social media is very influential, especially to younger people, the younger generation, even teenagers. The vegan movement has been targeting these people because they are easily susceptible to brainwashing. Sure, they show pictures of animals, they show videos of animals, which are all cherry-picked for their documentaries, showing the worst conditions on factory farms. And it is devastating to watch these documentaries. I've watched every single one of them, sometimes several times. And it is just a fact of life. Nature is cruel. Whether it's a lion that takes down a deer in the wild, it's a very vicious, cruel, and bloody nature. Humans have been designed to eat meat. It is what gives us the proper nutrition, and as Dr. Ken Berry has coined it, it is a proper human diet. Now, why do I say it is a proper human diet? The nutrients that we need as human beings are found in animal meat. If you just eat meat and eggs, you'll be the healthiest. Now, the amount you can eat, what types of animals you can eat, if you can incorporate some other foods back into your diet, like I said at the beginning, it's up to each individual to find out what is right for them. And seriously, by incorporating a carnivore diet, which is an elimination diet, you can do that. There's no other way to do that. You have to eliminate every other food. But back to what I was saying about why it is the proper human diet. Most plants have anti-nutrients in them. They go by many different names. The protein, the nutrition you think you're getting from these plant-based foods, it is not as bioavailable or bioabsorbable to the human body as meat is. This is a proven fact. So vegans are told they're getting the proper nutrition, they're getting the proper vitamins, minerals, they're getting the proper protein. You're not. You are only getting a portion of it. So when you think you're doing right for your body and your macros are right on with what you're being told is right for you, nope. And later in life, you will discover this. One of the things the human body will do, if you are not getting the proper nutrition, it will pull those vital nutrients from other places in your body, including your muscles, your bones. These are areas you do not want depleting or diminishing in your body. Trust me, I lost about 30% of my muscle because my body was taking from my muscles and my bones the nutrients that they needed to keep my body performing and functioning and living day to day. Now, since going carnivore, I have been repairing these issues. It takes time. With the combination of being on a SAD diet for the majority of my life, eating like crap as a truck driver out here, it took a toll on my body. The 7 years I was vegan was nothing compared. In other words, my body went worse going vegan. Now, initially, there will be improvement because when you start any diet, you're going to be eliminating processed food for the majority. You're going to eliminate that highly processed food because you want to be quote unquote healthy. It will destroy you, my friends. Over time, it will. I know people who have been vegan for, and we're talking strict plant-based vegan, not the vegan crap, eating Oreo cookies, eating the Beyond Meat crap, and it's crap, and I'm going to tell you that for a fact. If you've got a package of so-called meat, It's fake meat. But you've got a paragraph long of ingredients. And half the stuff you don't even know what those ingredients are. If you have to Google more than 2 ingredients in your food, you're not eating something healthy. I'll tell you that for a fact. I'm sorry, my friends. This is just an inconvenient truth. I know people for a fact that have come to me even and admitted that they were holier than thou. They thought they were in the higher moral ground, the ethical ground of not eating animals. But after 10 years, after 18 years, one woman, after 25 years as a strict plant-based vegan, has admitted to me and come to me for help that veganism damaged their body. And now they are afraid of dying. And they live with debilitating and excruciating pain and disease. So they've switched to a carnivore diet and are healing their bodies. You will heal your body if you switch to I can speak sometimes, to eating meat and eggs. Now, for those that can't tolerate eggs, at least eat the egg yolk if you can. The majority of people can eat the egg yolk. It's the egg whites that bother a lot of people. Now, if you can eat the whole egg, that's great. If you can just eat the egg yolk, that's great. If you can't eat eggs, that's okay. Every person's body is different. What you can tolerate is different from your friend, your neighbor, your family member. It's different. It's individualized for your body, depending on a lot of factors like ancestry. Like I said before, what your parents ate, what their parents ate, what you ate growing up, what you've eaten for the last 10 years. It all makes a difference. There is no one size fits all for everything. That's why in the carnivore universe, it is part of a ketogenic diet. So you can have an option of eating keto, where you limit your carbs. You can go ketovore, which means you're pretty much 95% carnivore. Once in a while, you might throw in a fruit or vegetable. Or you go carnivore, which is meat and eggs only. Or some people have to go to an extreme because their autoimmune diseases are so severe that they can only handle eating meat, salt, and water. And the majority of those meats are ruminant meats. Now, in a carnivore diet, you can eat seafood. On a lion diet, you don't eat seafood. You eat ruminant animals. Those with 4 stomachs, pretty much. Veganism is also trendy, especially to the younger generation. They see all these women out there that are all fit and looking great. And, oh, I went on a vegan diet and this happened to my body and I've never felt better in my life. True, your body will have some beneficial elements to it when you switch from a standard American diet to a vegan diet. Now, eating a sad diet, that's the worst. Switching to a vegan diet, at least you're thinking about your health. So you're cutting out bad foods. But in the process, you're putting new bad foods in. And especially if you're a junk food vegan, you know, eating Oreos, chips, fake meats, Beyond Meat, Impossible Burgers. And I'll admit, I used to do it when I was a vegan because it was touted as healthy. There were vegan influencers that were pushing Beyond Meat and Impossible Burgers because they were sponsored by them. It always comes down to the money, folks. And now let's talk about the big lie when it comes to money and veganism. And that is the sugar industry. A long time ago, like 50, 60 years ago, the sugar industry paid off scientists to falsify data showing that cholesterol and fat were the leading causes of heart disease. But do you know what the actual culprit was and is to this day? It's sugar. And sugar is in everything now. They paid off those researchers and scientists. Ansel Keys was a big part of that. You've been lied to all these years. We've all been lied to. And it comes down to money. It was for money and power, if you think about it. Sugar is in just about every product out there, except meat and eggs. The two clean products that are out there for food, for human consumption, meat and eggs. That's what our ancestors ate for millions of years. We ate an ancestrally appropriate diet. Then back around the 60s, 70s, veganism started kicking in, got a little more popular, got some money behind it, got some celebrities into it. But it has done a disservice to the human race. It really has. You think you're being ethical and highly moral by not eating animals, but that act alone is slowly killing you. There's no reason you have to suffer with all these diseases, these debilitating illnesses, these autoimmune disorders, these mental disorders. There's no reason for it. None. You need to drop veganism. It is a cult of brainwashed followers. I was in that cult for 7 years and I escaped. So can you. I'm looking forward to a long life. My health is finally back in check. I even had a heart condition I was having problems with and got put on medication for it. That is being weaned off of me now. Because when you start blood pressure medicine, especially if a beta blocker is involved, you can't just go cold turkey and just go off of it. No, it doesn't work that way. I tried it. Devastating. Don't ever do it. Listen to your doctor. So the best advice I can have for you is you have to do what is right for your own body. Do not believe the lies of veganism. Do not believe the lies of you have no murder on your plate. You have no violence on your plate unless you grow your own food and don't buy from a store or market. That is not possible. And that is why veganism is debunked today by me on this channel. Granted, people have been doing this for a while now, but I myself have joined that group and I have debunked veganism. Take that, Ryan from Happy Healthy Vegan. And I got a new video for you coming up. I'm going to expose something you do. That's right, your secret's no longer a secret. Take care, my friends. If you like the video content, please subscribe to my channel, like, and share. You're helping a trucker. If you support truckers, this is a great way to do it. It doesn't cost you a dime. But I have a message I want to put out there, and I'm going to do it. With or without your help, but I would love your help. If you have any questions for me, if you need assistance switching out of veganism, leaving the cult, please contact me. I would love to help you. Take care, my friends.